What's going on, guys? Car review guys here. My name is AJ, and this week we have the 2025 Chevrolet Blazer. This is the RS trim level, and it is the all-wheel drive option. So, next video is going to be 5 things to love, 5 things to improve. This is, again, the full review. If you are new to my channel, we are going to start with a cinematic, always 60 seconds or less, really. Then we are going to go around the exterior, talking stats, figures. I feel like things you guys would want to know. We'll jump on into the interior, look at some of those things, talk about some of the features, and then we will be taking it on a drive. So feel free to skip along wherever you would like. Over 21,000 subscribers, almost to 22,000. Appreciate every single one of you. So without further ado, let's jump right on into this video. Let's roll. Starting with some of the stats and figures, this Blazer EVRS is a 85 kilowatt battery capacity, and it has around 288 horsepower and 333 pound-feet of torque. Drivetrain on this one in particular, as already stated, is all-wheel drive. However, there is an optional rear-wheel drive. Curb weight is around 5,395 pounds, which is going to be pushing it from 0 to 60 in about 6 seconds. MPGe is 102 city, 87 highway, and a combined average of 95. Estimated range on this all-wheel drive version is around 279 miles. If you go to the rear-wheel drive only, you can get just a little bit more range. Charge times, so you're looking at about 150 kilowatt DC fast charger. That's what this is capable of, and you can get about 78 miles of range in about 10 minutes per Chevrolet. Touching on the vehicle dimensions, overall width is around 5.5 feet, and your overall length is around 16 feet, and ground clearance is 7.65 inches. Pricing starts around $48,995. That is for the base LT rear-wheel drive. Tester today is around $55,985, including the destination charge. While we are here in the rear, if you come underneath the Chevrolet symbol, you can simply press the button there, and it does have a power rear hatch. So now checking out back here, if you pull this up, you do have a little bit of storage there. As you can see the tow hook as well. Dropping that back down, you can already kind of see the hint. This does have the optional red interior. There's also a black color, so there are only 2 to choose from. And then also, as far as space back here, I will put here on the screen the cubic feet. Taking a look at the wheels, they do have a 275, 45, 21, so they're definitely pretty big. And then you can see it does have keyless entry on all 4 doors. And I apologize, the vehicle is dirty at the time of this review. We do not get much rain here in Arizona. However, I jumped at the opportunity to drive it, but I was not able to film it in the rain. So I wanted to give some input on that, but I did manage to get the cinematic, so that way it looks good in the cinematic. It was nice and clean during that. So without going on and on about that, just taking a look at some of the things you may or may not notice. LED headlamps, and again, you have this nice little runner across the front. It does have a 360 camera. You can see the front one located there. Other ones located on both mirrors, and then obviously the rear. Charge port door is located right here. Press there. Down it goes. And as you can see, again, it's where you charge it. I test every single vehicle getting in them. I am 5'9" if you are new to my channel. And let's go ahead and step into the rear. Let's see what that is like. Getting back here, you don't have to duck much for me and my height, and it's actually really easy to get into the back, a little easier than what I was expecting. And then let's check out some of the materials here. So if you kind of look closely, you can see it kind of has like a pattern to it. Definitely looks pretty neat. This is all soft touch where the red is. This obviously is a hard pattern to it. And then this up here is kind of like the standard like rubberized material, if you will. Window switches are nice, even have a little bezel, no wiggle, no jiggle, nice and tight, so that's good. Checking out the seats here in front of us, there is no seat back pocket here. However, there is one on that side. You have 2 vents, and then this does have the one option that is available. I mean, there's a few other options, but the main one that does include rear heated seats, and this one also has the heads-up display as well. And just checking out the seats, rather, it's got kind of like an Alcantara in the middle, and then the rest of it is a leather. Pull this down, you've got 2 cup holders and an armrest. Okay, and then let's just touch on being in here. So you do have, like, size-wise, so again, 5'9", I've got probably a good 2.5, 3 inches above my head. And then this is where my seat sits to drive, and I've got a solid 6.5, 7 inches of leg room. So there is a lot of leg room in the back of the EV Blazer. As we test getting into the front, the one thing that is unique, at least I found it unique, maybe there's some other ones out there, it's just the first one that I have had, and maybe it's a setting in here as well. I honestly have not looked that crazily into it. However, the thing that I noticed is you don't do anything to start this. There's no on-off button, no push to start, nothing like that. You literally get in, I'm guessing it's a weight sensor in the seat, and it's going to turn on. So as we get in, just testing it, very easy to get in. And as you see, if I flip this around and if I shut this door and press my foot on the brake, it's good to go. That's it. Like, I don't do anything else. It is literally ready to go. You can see right here, you go towards you and down, that's in drive. Toward me and up is reverse. You can see the 360 camera there, nice and crystal clear. And then you just simply, on the end of it, hit the P for park. All right, taking a look at the steering wheel, you can see it does have adaptive cruise control, and this does have lane assist. The one option this does not have is the Super Cruise, which you would see here on the steering wheel, so my tester does not have that. Your button is over there, located for the lane help assist, if you will. And then it does have memory seating. And then you do have some nice, again, just like the rear setup, power folding mirrors, and then all of your adjustments are down there. And then just taking a look over here at the screen, pretty standard for any of the new GM, Chevrolet products. I think it's pretty responsive, like as far as like whenever you touch it and then it goes. I love the fact of the maps. It is like, it looks so crisp and so clean. This display is really, really, really nice. There's not too much to really talk about in here. You do have ambient lighting at night. You can change all the different colors. It's on the different air vents, and I believe the footwells as well. What else? Anything else we want to cover here? Not too much. This is your one pedal drive. Trying to get the light out from under there for you guys. But yeah, so this is the one pedal drive. You can simply just touch that. If you don't like that, you can turn it off. I don't think there's too much else to cover there in the center. Obviously, dual zone climate. You have heated seats, you have cooled seats, you have a heated steering wheel, and there's not too much else to cover there. So you can slide this back. You've got 2 USB-Cs, a really deep storage pocket there. 2 cup holders, a wireless phone charger. Now, if you have a really large phone, like me, for example, I have the Samsung version, and it is really, really tight, right? So this is the Ultra, and if I set it there, it doesn't really fit, and my case is pretty narrow. I can kind of push it down and kind of force it, and it will actually charge, but as you can see, it's spinning. But it is just really, really tight on a big phone. And then down there, it is really, really deep. I mean, you could literally probably fit like 5 to 6 tissue boxes. It is quite large. Other thing my tester does not have is up above us. We do not have a panoramic roof, so no sunroof in this one. Also included with the rear heated seats / the heads-up display is your digital rear view mirror. And if we look out in front of us, you can probably see the heads-up display out there now. I think that covers just about everything on the interior that you would want to know, honestly. So I think it's time we get this EV-RS all-wheel drive out on the road. I generally give kind of like my first impressions or things that I notice, just because obviously I get so many different vehicles. And one of the things that I noticed on this, and it sounds kind of quirky and it's not good or bad, it's just neutral, it's just something that I noticed, was the fact of the steering wheel of like, you have more rotation for what you're turning. So like, I'll be like going around a turn and thinking I can just take it like, you know, like your hand at the top and then down just to the bottom. Nope, you're still too wide. You got to turn it even more. So it just kind of reminds me, it gives me almost kind of like an old school feel vibe in the sense of like the steering. And again, it's not a bad thing. I just think that it's unique. There's not too many vehicles on the market that are like that. They're just a little tighter in steering nowadays. Now, as far as like tightness, not to get confused, like as far as like inputs, it goes exactly where you want it to. So like, don't think it's like sloppy or there's play in the steering. That's not what I'm trying to say. But just more rotations to how you're turning, and that's kind of unique. Other thing that is important, at least to me on EVs, is how quiet are they? And the reason I say that is because it is difficult to get them quiet, just because there is no motor noise whatsoever to kind of subtly drown out some of the other noises. I basically have 3 categories generally on noise for every single vehicle, and that would be wind noise, and then also powertrain noise, which in this case, obviously, again, that doesn't really exist. And then you also have tire noise. So tire noise, because it's an EV, this one you can hear a little bit. It's definitely acceptable, but I definitely cannot pretend that it is not there because it's there. As far as wind noise goes, it's honestly really good. I don't have any issues there. It is really, really maintained, very impressive. And then powertrain, nothing to say there too much. Just whenever you really get on acceleration, kind of hear like the battery whine a little bit or whatever, but it's nothing bad. And there's, again, that's really kind of pointless to talk about in this vehicle. Let's touch on blind spots. Over to our left, the pillar is just a little bit further back, but not bad at all. Can see quite well. Over to our right, I can see quite good as well. No issues as far as blind spots, but of course it is equipped with blind spot monitoring if you have any issues. As I've spent some time with it, the other thing that I have really enjoyed about this is having a vehicle that, again, not that this is cheap, however, whenever it comes to EVs and SUVs in particular, it is nice to have all of the features and not have a vehicle that is just ridiculously expensive. Like, I've got heated seats, cooled seats, I've got heated rear seats, I've got the heads-up display, like, you know, for, I think it's like roughly $1,200 to $1,400 for panoramic roof. So like, you could have that if you want it. So it's all up to you as to what you want, right? But with that said, it is really nice having some of the luxury amenities in a vehicle that is not breaking the bank if you're looking for an EV. Test the all-wheel drive here. We are going out quickly, and it is just, the torque on EVs is what's so fun. So if you've never been in an EV, definitely do your best to get out there and check one out, because that is a pro for an EV for sure. Like, as soon as you touch the gas pedal, like, it's going. So even though the 0 to 60 on this one may not be all that impressive, just so you know, there's an SS coming down the road, and it's supposed to have a 0 to 60 of like 3.4. But what I was going to say was, with this one, even though the 0 to 60 is only 6 seconds, having pound-feet of torque of like 333 or whatever the number is, trying to remember off the top of my head, pretty impressive for a 6-second vehicle. Okay, we are coming up to the cattle guard. We do that every single week, so you can kind of compare me not changing audio, what it sounds like, and what it looks like going over it. So here we go. Suspension, I would say honestly is probably about average. I moved just a little bit there, nothing too crazy, but like I said, I would call that about average for most vehicles today. Noise, actually that went a little better than what I expected, because again, I can hear the tires in this vehicle, especially on certain roads, but going over that, it was actually pretty maintained. So pretty impressed overall. As already noted, it does have one pedal drive, if that's what you want to call it. So you basically just, if you're not familiar with it, you just use the gas pedal. As soon as you let off the gas pedal, it's already applying the braking, which is also regenerative braking. So you don't really have to touch the brake unless like you need to brake stronger than what it's already braking. So it's kind of a nice feature. It just takes some like getting used to, because whenever you're like in my position, you're in one vehicle 1 week and then in another one, and like you're just trying to remember the concepts. Like a lot of times, like right now, like if I just let off, like I forget, like I'm like, oh man, and then, you know, passengers are like, dude, what are you doing? Why are you hitting the brake so quick? So you got to remember to ease off the gas pedal, and that's how you kind of get it to feel smooth. And once you get used to it, like by the end of the week, I'm good. At the beginning of the week, it is what it is. But it is a nice feature if you're not familiar with it. Now, as far as suspension goes, this is definitely a sportier feel. Now, it absorbs bones fairly well. Again, about average, as I would call it with the cattle guard. However, it definitely feels sportier whenever it comes to actually like turning, right? Because lower center of gravity with the battery, and it just feels sportier. Again, it feels on point. So like here we go at 20. And again, the steering wheel, you just have to turn it really far to get how, in most cars, how you turn. So like, I turn it literally almost upside down in order just to make a normal, where you're turning on a road. Usually you only turn it like, I don't know, like halfway or something like that. So it is definitely different. It's just different. That's all there is to it. Overall, if you were looking for an EV, definitely budget friendly as far as EVs go, and you want all of the features, it still feels a little sporty. I think it looks really good. It's a good looking vehicle as well. This definitely might be a contender for you. I am super thrilled with how GM has done their infotainment and all of that and caught up, because like some of their vehicles, no secret, back in the day, kind of outdated, not all that great. For example, the Corvette like has just stalled for a long time, even whenever the C7 came out. Now, mind you, I've owned a bunch of Corvettes. I love Corvette. I was on the Corvette supply chain team at Bowling Green helping launch that car. C8 came out, great infotainment. C7, when it came out, it was behind its time from the day it came out. That was no secret. Everyone talked about it. And all the vehicles now, so ahead. They're so nice, so crisp, so clean, and again, still keeping to relatively budget friendly. Next video, 5 things to love, 5 things to improve. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video. Again, over 21,000 subscribers. Thank each and every one of you. And as always, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.